The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect the policies and position of this network.
Everyone, it's Thursday, August 5 in Manila. I'm Karen Davila giving you the head start for the day. We have big guests this morning. Our guests for Hot Copy, we have the tandem of Senators Lacson and Senate President Tito Sotto. They are the first to announce that they will be running for President and Vice President in 2022. They're known as the alternative candidates. We'll talk about their platform, what makes them different, and thoughts on the country's most pressing issues. First, the headlines. Today's big story, several Philippine lawmakers eyeing a probe on the Octa Research Group on how it analyzes data on the country's COVID-19 situation. The Delta COVID variant seemed to be driving COVID infections in provinces outside Metro Manila. And the World Health Organization calls for a moratorium on COVID booster shots at least until the end of September. On Hot Copy this morning, Senators Lacson and Tito Sotto running for the country's top two posts in next year's national elections. What are they offering to the public, and what are their thoughts on hot issues today? So it's really Hot Copy on the hot seat. Big news for the election in 2022. Both of them together on Head Start. Presidential candidate Lacson and Vice Presidential candidate Tito Sotto. Good morning to you, Senator Sping, Senator Tito Sen.
Good morning, Karen. Good morning to the viewers. And good morning to my partner, Senate President Tito Sen.
Well, you know what? It is a pleasure, and I have to say, it's big to have you both on Head Start at the same time. You were both supposed to kick off your candidacy. The launch was yesterday, and you postponed it, of course, because of the ECQ, the surge in COVID cases. But give me a peek. What was supposed to happen yesterday? Was it a formal kickoff of the campaign itself, Senator Ping?
Not the campaign itself, but it's a launch event announcing officially or formally na tatakbo kami sa May 9, 2022 elections.
So, ibig sabihin, Tito Sen, walang atrasa na to?
Yes. As a matter of fact, well, good morning muna. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, partner. At magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Yes. When we said that, and when we decided that we will file our certificates of candidacy for President and Vice President come the first week of October, we have no preconditions. We were dead set on our programs are ready. We know we could be a good alternative, and so. We don't really. We're not thinking of the others who are going to file.
But what is the wisdom? I'm sorry to interrupt, Tito Sen and Senator Ping. What is the wisdom in announcing this early? If we go back, those who have announced early usually end up being either attacked. Or investigated, and you both have seen it, and then they eventually suffer during the campaign period. Senator Lacson, why announce this early?
First, we're ready for anything, Karen. Pangalawa, kasi yung iikot-ikot ka, parinig-parinig ka, there is so much pretensions, and napag-usapan namin, wala nang pagkukunwari. Sabihin na natin na talagang, anyway, we have decided eventually or finally, now we'll go for it. Let's do this. And sabihin na natin na talagang tayo kakandidato yung dalawa. That was our agreement. But it was, it didn't take us a short while or short time to decide. I, for one, I was being egged to run as early as 2018. And ito yung mga influencers, yung mga nag-influence sa akin to finally go for it. First, Speaker Alvarez, after he was ousted, merong isang event, isang occasion na nagkita kami. He was, courting me to why not go for it. Marami pa tayong kaibigan, mag-iikot ako, and so forth and so on. Second, yung mga old pagis sa military, I can name some, Secretary Renato de Villa, former SNB, former ES, former Chief of Staff, former Chief PC, dati kong boss, Senator Biason, General Mison, and another famous general, hindi ko babanggitin kasi nga public figure, he's writing a column. These are the people, and of course, in early this year, si Senate President talked to me. He summoned or he invited me to his office and talked to me about his plans of running for Vice President. And baka raw pwedeng i-reconsider. But all those time, iniisip ko, sabi ko, hindi, tama na. Even going back to the Senate because I still have one term. First term ko to second round. Sabi ko, ayoko na rin talaga because I think it's time to hang up the gloves, so to speak. And other people, a fellow senator, and other people tried to really convince me to go for it. But eventually, when Senate President Tito Sotto talked to me, because sige, pag-aralan ko lang, but I'm not promising anything. Because pagkakandidato, di ba, fire in the belly yung hinahanap natin. But in my case, sabi ko sa kanya, wala nga ako appetite. So it started from there.
Okay. Now, Tito Sen, it seems, well, number one, your term in the Senate, I mean, you are graduating. So it's but logical for you as Senate President to aspire for the Vice Presidency. You have the support of NPC. Now, what's surprising is you have a member, Senator Sherwin Gatchalian, already and openly saying he's vying for the Vice Presidency as well. Won't this pose a problem, honestly speaking, for you, sir?
No, I don't think so. As a matter of fact, as I said earlier, I have no preconditions in running. I think Senator Gatchalian or the others are waiting for some kind of
they're waiting to be chosen.
So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm ready and I know what I'm going to do. But allow me to give an answer also to your
please.
Question. Why early?
Yeah.
Baka kami batuhin and things like that. No? First, we have nothing to hide. We're probably the two political animals, if you could call us that, na have nothing to hide. Kami, bilad na bilad kami sa buong bansa. Kilalang kami. Kilala mga pinanggalingan namin and everything. So, they can throw even the kitchen sink. It doesn't matter because I think our records speak for itself. That's number one. Number two, usually, yung mga binabato at saka yung medyo nagkakaproblema, even in the past, yung matataas ang survey. Kaya ayaw nila maaga magdideklara dahil may ibabato sa kanila . Sa amin, hindi naman kami takot na may ibabato. Pangalawa, hindi naman kami naglilinis sa survey . I don't see it as a problem.
Okay, pag-usapan natin yung survey. Maganda yung binanggit mo, Tito Sen, no? Your showings in the survey, you are not in the top 3 or top 4. And you are still optimistic, Senator Ping and Tito Sen, that you'll be able to reverse that, and how?
Karen, I'll start minding the surveys pagka nakapile ng lahat.
Okay.
See, right now, it doesn't make sense to list down 10 to 12 presidential aspirants. It's not realistic. So I don't mind the surveys right now. What we are focusing on, yung sarili naming galaw. If you notice, we haven't even responded to tirades from some sectors. I'll mention one, Senator Trillanes.
I'm about to ask that.
The Senate media, Senate media, lagi lang ko tinatanong, sir, any comment? Ang lagi sagot ko, no comment. What for? No, because commenting on such tirades cannot be productive, Karen. So we'll just focus on what we can offer to the Filipino people, to the electorate, and kung ano yung track record namin. Kaya nga, we are focusing on 3 Ks, kakayahan, katapatan, katapangan. Diyan kami nakapokus dalawa.
Okay, but then you both package yourself as the alternatives. And the question is, how much of an alternative are both of you? Senator Trillanes said you are both Duterte enablers. So he says you're not exactly the opposition and hindi rin kayo yung talagang kakaibang kandidato. So let's start with that. Tito Sen, start with that first. Are you a Duterte enabler?
No. We're not pro-administration. We are not pro-opposition. We are pro-Filipino. That's first and foremost. Now, it doesn't mean that because I'm friendly with the president or that we usually follow the administration line on some pieces of legislation. Doesn't mean na kami an enabler. Ano? Of course, ginagawa namin biruan yun. Kumisa ang biro nga namin pag sinabi nagbibiro pag lumalabas ang biro na yan sa mga lounge namin at sinabi ni Senator Bongo, oo, totoo naman sabi niya. Hindi, sabi ko, may bago ako ngayon. Sabi ko sa kanya, hindi. Kami kandidato nyo. Anyway, ano lang dyan, perhaps, we some of it, we take it with a grain of salt. Because as long as it's not true, I don't see any problem. Pagdating naman sa surveys, exactly what my partner said, Senator Lacson, sabi niya, 12, 14 ang mga pangalan. The leading has 18%. Leading 18%. So what does that mean? The 82 doesn't want to vote for him or her. Hindi ba?
So there's space for growth.
Masyadong maluwag yung mga pangalan na binibigay. So the best surveys that you could use as a guide would be the surveys when the filing of certificates candidacy are already in. Para yung mga maliwanag na sino yung mga tumatakbo. So right now, I would rather believe the surveys that are being sent to me in the local level. I've seen surveys in Batangas, Quezon City, Caloocan, Bulacan. I've seen surveys ng mga local surveys nila. And it is completely different from what the national survey companies are giving. Because yung surveys nila, ang mga pangalan, 3-4 lang.
Okay.
Iba ang kulay doon.
All right. Hold that thought, Tito Sen. Senator Ping, were you a Duterte or are you a Duterte enabler? I think this is important to answer because there's so many election issues that will eventually be thrown and discussed, right? We have the West Philippine Sea, we have the drug war, we have the closure of ABS, we have there's just so many, and I'm sure they will be coming out at some point. Did you and Tito Sen enable essentially the president to be able to pursue his policies even if they were wrong? So that's the real issue with being a so-called Duterte enabler. Senator Ping.
No, absolutely not. You know me, Karen, I've called out the president a number of times. And I have also praised him when there's need to praise him. So if you call that an enabler, then so be it. But all my public life, lahat ng public service sa career ko, I've always followed a personal credo. What is right must be kept right. What is wrong must be set right. So pagka sinabi mong doon ka lang sa tama at nagkataong tama naman yung ginawa noong tao, ba't hindi mo purihin? At kung mali naman, you call him out or you criticize him, hoping that he would listen. I was also called out by the president a number of times. So I don't know where that accusation is coming from. Definitely, we're not enablers. Sabi nga ni Tito Sen, ni partner, we are pro-Filipino. That's it, period. No more discussion.
Okay. You're meeting with Vice President Leni Robredo, just offhand. I'm curious, what were the options discussed? Is it her campaigning for you or you taking there's a possibility of you stepping down? What were the options discussed in this meeting?
Okay, the gist of the discussion was unification. Put up a common candidate, if possible, against the administration. I offered her a sure unification effort or formula to unite in the end.
What's the formula?
There was resistance. I won't discuss the details, pero yun ang nakikita ko talaga. Alam ni Senate President ito because I offered it to her openly in the presence of the Senate President. She resisted. You know? Hindi siya sold doon sa idea. But it was a sure formula for putting up at least between the two of us a common candidate. But unfortunately, she didn't buy it.
Is it because I'm curious, she's still open to running?
Oh, definitely she is. She's open to running. No?
That's why. So I guess I'm just, because it would mean that you're not open to stepping down either, or right?
Karen, no, sabi ko, nabasa na yung sakong namin. Ngayon, hanggang tuhod na yung basa namin. Talagang tuloy-tuloy na to. We've gone far and deep into the ocean. So, to go back, to turn back, parang medyo mahirap ng isipin. No? At that point, when we were talking to Senator Pacquiao, Vice President Leni Robredo, medyo naka-open pa yung doors. But now, I have a commitment to my partner, come hell or high water, talagang tutuloy na namin to. In fact, naka-schedule na nga, di ba? We were supposed to have our launch event yesterday. It was postponed. It was purely a sensitivity issue. And ang bagong play date, sabihin natin play date, September 8th.
Okay, September 8th. Okay, I'll be frank with both of you. Many candidates can come from left field. President Duterte is one of them. But you have to remember, Luzon didn't know him well. He was fresh for Luzon, right? And Luzon has a big voting base. But both of you, matagal na kayong politiko. You get me? So you have many young voters today. So what does a Tito Sen in his 70s, I hope you don't mind Tito Sen, and Senator Ping Lacson in his 70s offer that's fresh, young, dynamic, considering you have Isko Moreno, 46, Sara Duterte, 42, Manny Pacquiao, 43. So what is vibrant and fresh about both of you? How will you sell yourself? I won't use the word sell, but how would you communicate this freshness with young voters today, Tito Sen?
Number one, experience. Number two, track record. Number three, we have the best program. We can offer the best program. I don't hear any programs from the would-be candidates.
Okay. I thought
Karen,
you were going to say,
Karen,
I thought you were going to say Tito Sen and Karen, age is just a number. I was waiting for that, but okay.
But if you listen to Pastor Peter Tanchi, he was giving a sermon the other time, and he said that based on research, scientific
age is
research,
just a number.
Not only age is a number, but people who reach the age of 70 and 70 plus have just begun the best thinkings of their lives.
Okay, because of experience and time. All right, Senator P.
Yeah. Young people don't have the monopoly of fresh ideas. That's one. And as we speak, we are drawing up a roadmap, a master plan actually, yung platform namin. First, yung downloading of resources, because we're too concentrated in what Cebu, for example, and Parplang Mindanao usually label Metro Manila as Imperial Manila. And rightly so, because, as we went around Central, Northern, Luzon, ang common hinaing nila sa amin, lagi na lang sa Metro Manila yung development. Ang dami namin lupa dito, ang dami naming opportunities dito, kaya nga nandyan lahat yung mga informal settlers. So that's a very good idea coming from the ground, And we have seriously considered that even before we talk to them. In fact, I have this advocacy which I presented to the Senate President, and to which he fully agreed. Yung advocacy na empower yung mga villages in the Parplang areas, and we can do it via the national budget. Alam mo ba, Karen, na yung ina-adapt lang ng national government sa national budget, 20% of the recommendations, yung mga PAPs, projects, programs, activities, na nanggagaling sa the Regional Development Councils. Ano ba yung pinanggagalingan ng Regional Development Councils? Ito yung from the barangays, municipalities and cities, provincial. So talaga neglected. And there's a disconnect between the needs and priorities of the local government units and those of the national government. So ito yung kasama sa platform namin.
How would you, Senator Ping, reverse your image to get the support of congressmen? You have always been anti-pork barrel. And we know that in terms of on the ground, people fear that mawawala ng proyekto pag si Senator Ping. Tapos ng maliligayang araw. Walang pera sa mga distrito. So I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've heard it from some congressmen who said, if Ping wins, no projects. I think you should set the record straight on that.
I have to live with that, Karen, because
how do you win them over? You've been battling this pork barrel and calling out projects in the lower house.
Karen, I have to live with that, ano? Yan ang conviction ko Talagang ayoko masayang yung pera ng yung taxpayers' money. Let's face it. But hindi naman lahat ganong kaparokyal mag-isip, ano? Just yesterday morning, I received a call from a mayor, Northern Luzon. Sabi niya, paano maging member ng Reforma? This is an incumbent mayor running for his second term and pretty strong in his area or in his municipality. And I was taken aback because biglang nag-volunteer actually. I did not even know him that well. Ang sabi niya, kaya ako bumilib sa inyo, Senator, once I went to your office, sinalubong ko na staff ninyo, siguro may dala siyang project proposal. Sabi ng staff ninyo, sorry ho, Mayor, kasi hindi ho pumapasok si Senator sa ganyan. Doon po ako bumilib sa inyo. Totoo pala yung sinasabi nila na kayo, hindi tumatanggap ng pork barrel. So, hindi naman lahat pare-pareho mag-isip, Karen. And look at this, the first person that, as early as 2018, as I mentioned earlier, Speaker Alvarez.
Yeah.
So why would he not appreciate, diba, even during his term as speaker, diba, I was calling out insertions in the budget, and yet he appreciated it. Sa akin lang naman, wala namang masama sa pork barrel or earmarks para maging euphemistic about it. Earmarks for the districts, there's nothing wrong. Ang problema, Karen, pag in-insert yan sa House or sa Senate, sino mag-implement? Hindi kasama sa planning yung agency na mag-implement. And that's the reason why we have so much unused appropriations. Because the agencies, siyempre hindi naman sa congressman or sa senador pupunta yung pera, di ba? Yung appropriations. Pupunta yan sa agency, doon nakapark. And when the agency or agencies were not consulted in the first place, how would they implement that? So nasasayang yung appropriations natin, hindi nagagamit.
So ang ayaw nyo lang, perang nananakaw at nasasayang. Yun yun.
Of course.
All right.
Of course. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Let me bring it down to, Karen, if you don't mind. Let me bring it down to the layman's language, Ang ayaw ni Senator Lacson, and we've been together for the longest time as far as legislation in the Senate is concerned. And even before the Senate, we knew each other. Ang ayaw ni Senator Lacson, yung illegal na pork barrel. Alam naman ng mga ibang congressmen yan Alam nila yung mga tamang proyekto, hindi pwedeng alisin. Mga proyekto yun And saka if it conforms with the Supreme Court ruling on the use of countrywide development funds, there's nothing wrong. And I don't remember Senator Lacson objecting to that in the budgets that we approve. All the time. Ang ino-object niya, yung mga nakalamsam na hindi alam kung saan gagamitin, na mayroong 15 billion sa ganito, may 10 billion sa ganyan, yun yung sinasabi.
Okay.
Illegal na pork barrel.
A few quick questions for both of you, but you don't have to expound too long because we have so many questions for both of you.
Okay.
If you both win, will the drug war continue? Tito Sen.
Oh, definitely. And better. Because
anong magbabago? Quickly, anong magbabago sa drug war?
President Duterte was into the anti-drug war, di ba? Drug war. But meron tayong tinatawag na holistic approach And that is what I'm offering. it could not be. It cannot be just enforcement with the police and prosecution, which is not successful at this point. There must be heavy programs on prevention and rehabilitation. And that's what's lacking now. And that's what I can provide. I can remove the headache of President or Senator Lacson as far as the issue of illegal drugs and drug abuse is concerned. Those are two different animals. They only talk about illegal drugs, the drug war. No, that's not just the war. It's just a battle. The war includes drug abuse. And it's a larger problem.
I'm curious, have you changed? I know the last time we spoke, you've changed your conviction with the death penalty. Pagdating sa death penalty, Tito Sen, you are still for the death penalty for drug traffickers.
For high-level drug
Okay,
traffickers.
high-level, yeah. Okay, Senator Ping, will the drug war continue under your term?
Of course, and we have talked about this. Actually, ito in-offer niya when he talked to me into running. Ang sinabi niya, ang legacy kung gustong iwanan, because ito na yung last hurrah namin, Karen. Let's face it, we're both 73 years old. Well, August 24 pa birthday niyan. Kaya advance happy birthday. Maghahabol na sa akin yan ng edad pagdating ng August 24. Ako, June pa ako nag-73. Si Gringo, nauna sa amin, March yun eh. So anyway, kaya kami yung macho black dyan sa Senado. Anyway, sabi niya, ito na lang yung legacy kung gusto iwanan. Kasi talagang advocacy ko to as far as he could remember.
But how will your drug war be different, Senator Ping? I mean, just quickly, how will it be different?
Sabi nga ni Tito Sen, holistic. Hindi kasi ang naging focus ng Duterte administration, alam naman natin, law enforcement. Di ba kaya marami tayong nakikitang nakatihaya dyan, nakachinelas. So ang gusto ni Senate President Tito Sen, gusto niya holistic, yung focus on prevention and rehabilitation, not just law enforcement. Law enforcement is just one component of the drug war. Hindi pwedeng puro tayo law enforcement. Papatay tayo ng papatay ng tao without really seeing a solution, a positive resolution of the drug problem.
Okay, the West Philippine Sea issue, what will be the direction of foreign policy if you are both in office? And just direct to the point and quickly, Senator Ping and Tito Sen. Senator Ping first.
Balance of power. Kailangan natin, we cannot stand alone because we are very weak militarily in the first place. And there are countries not only in the West, even in Asia Pacific, who are willing to help us maintain that balance of power. Ang nangyari kasi ngayon, we became too friendly to China to a point na medyo low na yung regard sa atin. Ito nabasa ko lang kanina. Sabi ng China, 750 million doses ang naipamigay nila sa more than 100 countries. 190 million doses daw sa ASEAN countries. How many ASEAN countries are there? There are only 10. Ilan yung nabigay sa atin ng China? 1 million doses ng Sinovac. So that's low regard.
Maliit.
That's low regard, Karen, plain and simple. If we are their friends, and we have shown under this administration that we're closer to China than any other country. Pero tingnan mo yung trato sa atin. And they're harping about it because I read it just this morning, galing sa Foreign Ministry. Ito yung kanilang contribution daw sa anti-COVID-19 war.
Okay,
so,
all right.
1 million out of 190 million doses sa 10 ASEAN countries. Let's face it, ano tingin nila sa Pilipinas? Very cheap. Because we allowed ourselves to look very cheap to them.
Okay, Tito Sen, quickly. What about you?
I filed the Maritime Zones bill. Para malinaw kung alin talaga yung jurisdiction natin. And then my proposal also, and I'm sure Senator Lacson agrees, is that we start exploration. How do we prove it's ours? We don't even follow up on the explorations that we can do. And there are many other countries who are willing to go into a joint exploration with us. That even includes China and Vietnam, Japan, and the rest. In fact, I know of a United Kingdom company that's very interested in joining us. No, ibang ganun, dapat ganun ang we stand our ground. We know what is ours, and then we prove that it's ours.
Okay. You know, Tito Sen, what's interesting, I mean, at least pagdating sa'yo, is if President Duterte runs for VP, just very quickly, why would President Duterte's supporters choose you over him? Why you?
He's going to be a very formidable competitor, but perhaps my program is complete. As I said, it's holistic. My approach is holistic, and we're talking of about I think about 60 or 50 or 60% of the voting population. No single candidate has ever gotten 50% or more. So,
okay. Ikaw, Senator Ping, did you wanna why what would be, it would be very, I mean, that's a tough race for the VP if President Duterte runs, right?
Karen, we rise on our own merits, we don't mind the competition.
Okay.
Mas maganda na yung we focus on our platform, we focus on our track record, we focus on our capabilities, kaya nga kay KK. Pero alam mo, if you think of your competitors, then you'll be distracted. So mas mainam na yung presenta lang natin sarili natin for what we are. And with our experience, sabi nga ni Tito Sen, palagi ko naman meron kaming may offer.
Okay. If you are really the alternatives, all right? Okay, I'm going to ask just a few things before we move on to the economy. The president recently said he will not submit himself to an ICC investigation. If Senator Ping and Tito Sen are in office, will you allow the UN, okay, to come to the Philippines and investigate? Will you allow all these investigations to take place if an investigation is needed against the president, or will you protect him?
Karen, while we have withdrawn from the ICC to sa Rome Statute, we're still a member of the Community of Nations, United Nations. So that's out of our hands, It's the ICC that's investigating. Even the Supreme Court says that we cannot, just disregard the investigation about to be conducted, because recommendation pa lang naman ito ng prosecutor. The United Nations has not acted yet on the recommendation of the prosecutor. If it happens, then it happens.
Tito Sen, do you want to add?
I don't think it will happen. I agree I concur with Senator Lacson, Senator Ping, but I don't think it will happen because their investigation and their proposals are based on what's happening now. When he's no longer president, ano yung nahabol nila?
But then that's what happens, Tito Sen. They do investigate officers or officials even when they're no longer in power.
But yes, what I'm saying is that ang pinag-iinitan nila yung sinasabing drug war now. So I don't know if there will be that hot if he's no longer president.
Okay. If VP Lenny Robredo was asked this, if hypothetically he won as VP, it would be poetic justice, but she wouldn't make him suffer. Senator Ping, if you win as president, pag-iinitan mo ba si GMA? Will you have her reinvestigated? No. We saw that you had Pinoy's term, I think the first 2 years, GMA was always a part of his SONA, right? And would you do that?
Karen, ito yung analogy, You try walking forward while looking backward. Matatapilo ka. You cannot move forward kung lagi na lang nililingon mo yung pinag-iinitan mo. And Karen, you know me, I'm a very forgiving person. Sinabi ko nga lagi, my favorite quote is John F. Kennedy. Forgive your enemies, but don't forget their names.
No. So kumbaga, long and short, a Lacson presidency won't be vindictive.
No. But, equally treated, past, present, and future, especially acts of corruption, yan talaga, unforgiving tayo dyan because it is the crime against the Filipino people, di ba? Hirap na tayo. Ang dami na namin mga tax measures na pinasa. and we see people stealing from government or from government coffers.
Okay.
That shouldn't be forgiven.
All right. Your Senate list, let me go first to this. You had an announcement of 10 names. I wanted to ask you, Tito Sen, of course, Senator Sherwin Gatchalian is in the list. Can you just give me an idea what's the plan with Sherwin? If he insists on running, does he stay in NPC?
I think you'd better ask that question to
I asked him. He was my guest yesterday. He said, kailangan ko pa kausapin si Tito Sen. But given you're the chairman, clearly the NPC can only carry one VP.
Yeah, we talked already.
Oh, ano daw?
A few days ago. He talked to me a few days ago. He told me what he told you. What he told you exactly, that he is, I think he went to Davao to talk to...
Yeah.
Yun mismo sinabi niya eh.
But can he stay?
I told him it's up to him. You know, our lineup is, at this point, is flexible. And our lineup, the lineup that we have is ibang klase ito. Ito yung sinasabi namin na gusto naming maging mga senador pa or gusto naming maging senador. I-endorse namin sila. You know, it's not a lineup na katulad ng, let's say, full NPC lang ito. Or ito yung mga kandidato namin, kasama namin. Hindi ganun eh. Right now, at this point, most of them I have talked to, if not all, I think 10 out of 11, ay kausap namin. At yun ang mga pinag-uusapan. If they run for the Senate, we will endorse them.
Okay, pero if Sherwin runs for VP, can he stay with NPC? I mean, that's just a yes or a no.
I think so. Let me check on our rules. I think so.
But who will NPC support?
The one that's given the certificate of nomination. And I give the certificate of nomination.
Okay. That doesn't make sense. Honestly
speaking. Chairman eh.
Karen, may I ask si the Senate President, pwede ako magtanong, will you issue him a CONA?
No, I cannot. For the same position that I'm running, I cannot. Even if I'm not the one, let's call a spade. Meron kaming kandidato na napagkasunduan ng majority ng members ng partido at ini-issue namin ang certificate of nomination. Pagkatapos merong isa pa kaming kapartido na gusto rin, hindi namin bibigyan siyempre. Ba't naman namin pag-aawain yun? Mangyayari doon parehong independent yun.
Okay. So, I mean, the long and short of it, once the party chooses a vice presidential candidate, I mean, logically speaking, it doesn't have to be Senator Sherwin, and he insists to run for VP. He cannot use the party, is what you're saying. The party's resources.
He will not have the certificate of nomination of the party.
All right. Okay. Number 2 is former Vice President Jeju Marbinay going to be in the slate, Senator Ping.
That is correct. No, we had lunch and we asked him anong plano niya, and he said he wanted to run for the Senate. So sabi namin, pwede ka ba sumama sa amin? And he said yes. So that's fine.
Yun na yun.
Kasi lahat naman ng nasa listahan, Karen, pinag-usapan namin ni Senate President ito. Siyempre, kakausapin niya muna, tatanungin niya muna kung pwede naming i-mention na kasama sila sa lineup. And I'm sure lahat ng nakalista doon nakausap ni Senate President because alam mo, Karen, ang papel ko, hindi naman ako consensus builder. Si Senate President, yan yung forte niya. Kaya nga hanggang ngayon, Senate President siya eh. Ako, hindi ako pwede Senate President because, ang sabi ko nga, hindi ako marunong mag-build ng concessions or consensus, among peers. Ang papel ko talagang lone crusader ako eh. Sabi ko nga, parang lonely crusade lagi yung, ewan ko ba't ganito yung nakagawian ko na laging, maski mag-isa, sige lang, laban lang ng laban.
Okay, so quickly, so you now have UNA, the alliance with UNA is, so of course, NPC, Demokratiko Reforma, and then UNA is already confirmed, is that correct?
That is correct.
How many more parties do you have alliances with?
Well, we sat down with the Action Demokratiko, the officials, of course, Mayor Vico, Mayor Andy Lacson of Concepcion Tarlac. Ito yung mga elected officials, ano? Si Mayor Lenlen Oreta did not make it for some reason. But he was the one who arranged that meeting. So, yon, it's still in the works, Karen, yung sa Aksyon Demokratiko.
Okay, we are gonna take a quick break. Head Start, we'll be right back. We're just gonna go for a quick commercial break. Stay with us. All right, we have with us the tandem of Senator Pantilo Lacson and Senate President Tito Sotto. They are vying for the presidency and the vice presidency in 2022. This is the second half of our interview. Campaigning will not be easy. Let's face it. One, there's a pandemic. Number two, ABS-CBN is shut down. And number three, there's the challenge of online trolls. Then you have Senator Risa Ontiveros already saying the possibility of Chinese cyber espionage. Paano ang pangangampanya ngayong 2022? Senator Ping, let's start with you.
Yes, we will have to adapt to the situation, ano? Kasi may pandemic nga, sabi mo, and iba yung labanan talaga ngayon. And let's face it, yung administration, they have all the resources. They have long prepared for this. We know that. Kaya nga ang dami nilang trolls. And we will, a resolution was filed to investigate why so many contractuals were hired. I think 300 plus, ano? Even more than the number ng existing na staff ng PCOO. We have to look into that kasi saan galing yung pera? At saka anong job description ng mga yon? We have to look into that. No? So and we have to expose it.
Yeah. So will there be an investigation, Senate President Tito Sotto, on the online trolls? I mean, magkakaroon pa ba?
Yes, definitely. The resolution was filed, and I referred 2 or 3 resolutions addressing that particular problem or related to that to the proper committees. As a matter of fact, one ata is referred to the committee of the whole, if I remember it right. And then, as far as campaigning is concerned, we got the feel of it. We gave it a try. If you remember, we had a tour of Luzon.
Do you both regret agreeing to the budget, frankly, of the NTF-ELCAC? Now you have Senator Franklin Drilon saying that it could be used as election giveaway. And the COA came out with a report that there were, I think, billions of funds recently released without the proper documentation to parts of Mindanao. Let me check that in detail, but I read it this morning. Nagsisisi ba kayo, frankly, that the NTF-ELCAC funding could be used for something else, Senator Ping?
Yes and no. This year, meron silang 16 billion. I think next year, they're asking for 40 billion pesos. We have to really scrutinize. Kasi ang nangyari this year, and I was the one who defended the budget of NTF-ELCAC along with the Defense Establishment, Dangerous Drug Sport, and PIDEA. Okay. Yung paggagamitin naman nun, and si General Esperon, Secretary Esperon, called on us, kasama ko Senate President. Ang tinanong lang namin, itemized ba yan? Kasi
ito, Sir Raj, just for the record, both of you, 5 million already of the NTF-ELCAC funds to Central Mindanao have been flagged by COA for deficiencies. The DILG transferred 2.9 million to 40 barangays without the proper documentation according to COA.
The good thing is, we're in the Senate. We passed that budget for last year, and we're going to pass the next budget. And therefore, before we scrutinize the budget for 2022, we have to find out how the budget of 2021 was spent. That's the good thing that we're in the Senate right now.
Okay. Senator Ping, did you want to add something to that? Do you regret?
Yes, we received reports na at least sa PNP. Merong nag-iikot, general, at I shared this information with the Senate President. Yung kanila, kasi 800 plus million yung sa kanila. Part of that, allegedly, is being used to give instructions to their chiefs of police na magkaroon ng parang census among residents in a barangay, a certain number. Ang gusto nila, 30% ng barangay residents mag-register to give their names, their contact numbers, saka yung kanilang addresses. Ano? So, for what reason? Medyo suspicious yun. Mukhang pang-eleksyon ito. And we have to look into that because that's outside of the authorized utilization of the NTF-ELCAC funds. Kasi ito, pang-development ito eh. Alam mo yung water lily theory, di ba? Nasabi ko na rin ito na pagdaan ng boat, tumatabi yung water lily. Paglampas ng boat, bumabalik yung water lily. Parang ganyan na NPA.
Okay.
So kailangan natin ng development para hindi na makabalik yung mga NPA doon sa mga clean barangays. That's the essence or the principle behind the NTF-ELCAC fund. But if it is being misused for another purpose, no, mukhang kailangan reviewin natin. Because I received that report and I shared it with the Senate President.
All right. Okay. The country for the next president, okay, the burden is very big. We are facing an 11 trillion peso debt. Okay. Clearly, loans, I think, are now 65% of GDP, if I was told, if I heard correctly the other day. What will you do? How will you revive the economy? I think that's the issue here. How would you revive the economy, Senator Ping, Tito Sen?
Well, first, we have to balance the budget. Ano? Dalawa lang naman ang gagawin mo to balance the budget. You cut on spending and you raise taxes. Yung raising of taxes, medyo out of the question because sabi ko nga kanina, sagad na tayo mga Pilipino sa taxes. So we have to focus on cutting on spending. Kaya nga yung mga excessive na expenditures na hindi naman talaga or wasted. You know, I cannot see any sense in borrowing, for example, from 2017 to 2019. Ang average annual gross borrowings natin, almost 1 trillion pesos. And yet, during the same period, 2017 to 2019, alam mo ba yung unused appropriations natin? 331 billion pesos on the average. So it doesn't make sense to be borrowing almost 1 trillion a year
When you're not
only not to use 331 billion. So there's no sense. Absolutely. Hindi ko makita yung sense doon. So we have to cut yung, alam mo, progressive yung ating budget eh. Every year, taas tayo ng taas. Bakit hindi natin gawing review natin, yung hindi nagagamit at saka yung medyo misuse or abuse, tanggalin natin.
Okay.
Balik tayo sa just to balance the budget.
All right. Tito Sen. Yeah, go ahead.
Two suggestions. One, budget reform.
Okay.
Precisely the Senator Lacson proposal. BRAVE, B-R-A-V-E, budget reform advocacy on village empowerment. And then enforce the laws. We've already passed the laws that will help government. Like, for example, the foreign investment, the retail trade liberalization. And then the CREATE, we passed it already. The FIST, we passed it already. It's a matter of implementing it well. And we know these laws. Kami mga nagpasa eh. Ikaw ngayon mag-i-implement if the people will...
So what will the business climate be like, frankly speaking, under a Lacson Sotto administration? Will business be threatened to shut down?
No, Karen.
Will there be inspiration in the business sector? Will the market... Yan ang tanong. Kunyari negosyante ka, Vietnam is doing well with foreign investments. Anong negosyo sa administrasyon po ninyo?
Okay, offhand, there will be no over-regulation. Sanay na sanay tayo, ang gobyerno natin gustong-gusto mag-over-regulate. Why? Para mayroong grease money. Leave the business sector alone, but impose the laws. Kung mayroong excess sa kanilang ginagawa, sa business practices, then that's the only time that government should come in. But just leave them alone.
Okay. We don't have enough time because there's a report on the country's inflation rate up next. But just to close, Tito Sen, ano ang mensahe mo? Why should they consider, frankly speaking, the Lacson Sotto tandem? Why are you viable and why are you, a major player in this race?
We know what's ailing the government. We know how to answer the ills. We have the programs to be able to move the country forward. We just can't sit around and think, saan tayo papunta ko, what is Philippines? No, that's why we sat down and prepared. So we're offering this. It's up to the people now, once we file our certificates of candidacy, to scrutinize, at makita.
Okay, quick lang to. You campaigned for FPJ, Tito Sen. I mean, clearly you work very closely with him. Will you have Senator Grace Poe, her support and her supporters behind you? That's a big block. The FPJ block is a very big block.
We just had dinner with her last night.
Okay, ayun. And
Is that a good enough answer?
dinner lang yun. Ano sinabi? More or less.
Well, if she will not run, she will support us.
All right, okay. Senator Ping, okay, to close.
Between Tito Sotto and Ping Lacson are 83 years of honest, dedicated, and competent public service. That's all.
Okay. But why should they be inspired with you, Senator Ping? The youth are looking for inspiration. A lot of the voters are young. So I'm just giving you an opportunity. How would you court young voters, Senator Ping?
One major reason, Karen, one major reason why we are running, ang ito for the future generation, it's not for us anymore. Kasi wala na kami eh. Wala na kaming ibang agenda, kundi yung, when I look at my children, my grandchildren, when I look at the young people of this country, para sa kanila ito. Hindi ito para sa amin kasi wala talagang kami, legacy mode kami dalawa. Wala na kaming ibang hangarin pa kundi mag-iwan na maganda for our future generation.
And the last one is when people say, I've asked you before, Senator Ping, they say Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte is very different from her father. You have many colleagues already aligning with her, many parties aligning with Sara Duterte. But Senator Ping, what would another Duterte administration mean for the country for you?
Karen, I'd rather not talk about the other aspirants or candidates.
Okay.
We will just present ourselves kung ano yung pwede namin gawin.
All right. On that note, Senator Ping Lacson, Senate President Tito Sotto, thank you so much for doing Head Start today. Salamat sa tiwala po. And good luck to both of you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. We need that.
Thank
All
you.
right.
God bless.
All right. That's Head Start today, everyone. I'm Karen Davila. Thank you for watching. Stay informed and stay with ANC.